The Man Who Waited. Episode 1. Written by Stories by Dive. What seems like a loss today might be preparing us for something more greater in future. At times we don't have the patience to wait and see. This is a story of a palm wine tapper who understood the principles of patience. He stayed calmly through every storm and every success. Tando was a palm wine tapper who lived a quiet life in the village with his son. He sees life different from the way others perceived. Beside his son, he had a donkey that he cherished so much. One day he went to the field to tap his palm wine as usual. He climbed up a tall palm tree. Suddenly his foot misbalanced. He hung between the sky and the hard ground below. The tall palm tree swayed with him. The clay pot tied to his waist filled with freshly tapped palm wine knocked against the trunk, spilling drops of fresh palm wine down his leg. "Father!" His son screamed from below, his small hands shaking. "Father, hold tight. Father, be careful." Tando did not shout. He did not panic. His fingers tightened around the rough bark of the palm tree. Slowly, carefully, he pressed his chest against the tree and found his balance again. His breath was steady, like someone who had done this many times before. Inch by inch, he adjusted his foot, tied the rope again, and continued his work as if nothing had happened. Below, a few villagers who had been passing by stopped and stared. One of them, Mara, placed her hand on her head in shock. "This is a bad sign," she said quickly. "A man almost falling from a tree? Trouble is coming." Another man nodded. "Yes, yes. The spirits are warning him." His son looked up again, his eyes still wet. "Father, please come down. This is not safe." But Tando only glanced down for a moment. His face was calm, almost too calm. Then he said in a quiet voice, "Let time speak." His words confused everyone. When he finally climbed down, the sun had risen higher, and the heat began to press against their skin. His son ran to him and held his arm tightly, still afraid. "You almost fell," his son said, his voice trembling. "Something could have happened to you." Tando gently placed his hand on the boy's shoulder. "But I did not," he said simply. Mara stepped closer, shaking her head. "You are too calm, Tando. Anyone else would be afraid. This is not something to ignore." Tando picked up his clay pot and began to walk toward home. "Fear does not change what will happen," he replied. "It only steals the peace we have now." The villagers murmured among themselves as he walked away. "He speaks like nothing matters," one said. "No," Mara replied sharply. "He speaks like he knows something we do not." His son walked beside him in silence. The path was dusty, and the trees cast long shadows on the ground. After a while, his son looked up again. "Father, were you not scared at all?" Tando stopped walking. He looked at the sky, then at the trees, then back at his son. "I felt the danger," he said slowly. "But I also know this, one moment does not tell the whole story." His son frowned. "What does that mean?" Tando gave a small smile. "It means we must wait before we decide if something is good or bad." Just then, in the distance, the sound of horse hooves broke the quiet morning. Dust rose along the road leading into the village. His son turned quickly. "Someone is coming." Tando followed his gaze, his expression unchanged. "Let us see why," he said. And without knowing it, the moment that almost took his life had already started a chain of events that would change everything. TBC. Follow backhand index pointing right Stories by Dive.